Hello everyone and welcome back to the Cargo channel. Welcome to another sunny day in the beautiful state of California. We're back in my friend Kyle's driveway to make the next big modification on the diesel. You can say what it is by the title, but this right here is a Chevy Swap Jaguar which Kyle's brother's working on. It's supposed to be more reliable, but we'll see how that turns out. Alright, always nice cars in this driveway, and an ML55, which is quite rare. We've seen that manual transmission swap wagon on the monoblocks. I have my car right here, and the Audi. I don't know if you can see it in the shade. Kyle's working on this Atlas lowering springs, so if you guys are in the SoCal area and need any suspension work done and any of these Benzes or European cars, Kyle's Instagram's right here. You can always ask him. He does narrow this down to a science. Very good at what he does. That's why I'm here repeatedly. Don't be shocked, we're doing shocks. So this is the next big modification, and you can go one of two routes short of coilovers. We went the Koni route. These are Koni yellows, kind of stiff even in the software setting, but hey, we're gonna take this car back through the canyon roads home just to test it out. What shocks do to your car is make it stiffer, easier to handle, blah blah blah. If you need shock explanation, Google another video. We're doing an install. Hopefully we can film one front and one rear, so you can get the idea of how to put them on yourself. Hopefully, Kyle, yep. Should we do a test of how bad my shocks are?
We should.
Alright. You want to hold the car or you want to hold the camera?
I'll hold the camera.
Hold the camera. So when you push a car down, it should rebound and not bounce. And mine's pretty bad. Yeah, I think those are blown. Time to get these in. Let's see what they look like. Hardware. Sticker, very important. 5 extra horsepower. And oh, beautiful. That's what it should do. Not like, right? Alright, let's put them on. I took the wheels off, which is the only thing I can do really on a car, but we're gonna be replacing the front shock, which is this dirty thing right there. First we gotta remove this little nipple kind of protector on the bolts, and I'll let the professional do it because I tried and I couldn't. So
this requires a little bit of wiggling.
So wiggle with it.
Just like that.
There we go. So after we do that, there are two nuts holding the shock. And is it shock or a strut?
Shock.
Okay, so this is the shock. Which one's the strut? The one in the back?
I think strut is when it's like a honestly, I don't know for sure. I think it's when it's like a coil, like basically a spring over a shock. I normally call that a strut. I don't know.
At this point it doesn't matter, so we're removing it. Two nuts holding it, a washer, and a little rubber grommet underneath.
Sometimes they come off easy, sometimes they don't.
One
Top
nut.
And bottom nut.
Washer. And
Your whole little cup is loose. That happens sometimes. Nothing to worry about.
okay, so do we tighten that or what do we do with it?
Yeah, no, when we put the new shocks in, we'll just put it right there. It's supposed to be like spot welded, but
oh well.
Sometime. Nothing major to worry about.
Okay, so we're not going 300 miles an hour, so we're good. bottom portion there is a this
single little bolt with a nut. The older ones are 17 mil and newer ones are 16 mil. But
yep, this holds the shock from the bottom, and remove this, and then
what you do is
push the shock up and compress it. It's easy to replace mine because they're blown, and you can see the leakage right there.
And then we reuse these little top parts and the top bushing right here.
Nice. So there are going to be some reusing included in this install, and there is a little leaflet that shows you what's going to be new and what's going to be reused, and it's right here. Of course I can't read this because I'm incompetent, but Kyle can understand it, and that's all that matters. We'll leave it there until we're ready to deal with it. What is this?
This is my box of shock parts.
Okay.
I have little adjusters, bump stops, don't even know what this is, bushings.
Interesting.
Fuel injectors for some reason.
That's part of the suspension as well.
Yep.
So why we're looking through this box is because I'll show you later on how to remove the cover and everything when we're doing that shock. But this is called a bump stop, which I just found out. And in order to get more travel out of my new Koni shocks, we'll use a smaller bump stop because my car is lowered on springs, but the springs are also cut, so that doesn't allow for too much travel. So if we have a shorter bump stop, we'll hit it less often and we'll have more travel on the shocks, correct?
Yeah, these Konis actually have a surprisingly tall shock body. I think even the Bilstein B8s are shorter by a couple inches, so you have to kind of modify it to make it work with a lowered car.
This is what experience is, you know. Trial and error, you said?
Too much trial and error.
Yeah, right. Well, let's try and not error this time. So this is one of those moments where you say don't do that at home, right?
From every angle I see it, it looks pretty safe.
That's a tree cutter, and
I feel like I've done worse things.
yeah,
Like it fits perfectly too.
yeah, it's designed to cut bump stops,
I think it might be.
and that's what we're doing. We're
So
cutting
we're
the
cutting
bump.
this one right in half. Let's see.
All right, what could possibly go wrong? Let me step back.
Ooh,
Like it was designed for this.
look at that.
Great success.
This is the
Perfect.
nicest bump stop cut I've ever made. I'm gonna start using this more often.
All right, so which part are we gonna be using?
We'll give you this part.
Okay, small little hokey puck. Okay, now we're gonna build this one. Yes, we already did one. Installed it right there. You can't see it, but it's yellow and it's nice. And we're gonna show you how to do this. They'll build. Which ones are the fronts, Kyle?
1317.
1317 Sport. The back ones say 1318 Sports. That's all the reference I'm gonna give you. We're gonna be building this one by using some of the parts of the old shock, like the cover and the bump stop, and there is one more thing that we're using from the old one, but that's about it. One thing that's quite interesting, Koni asks you to make a hole in your shock cover, and for that you're gonna need to use a drill bit to make it from 10 to 12 millimeters in diameter, and we'll show you how to do that in a second. Okay, Master Kyle is gonna show you how to remove the cover from the old shock.
Yeah,
It is a pretty self-explanatory technique.
Just have to have ground that you don't care about, and then just kind of.
There you go, easy money. So we're taking this bump stop. We're gonna go to the professional cutting machine and do another cut. You already saw that, so we'll skip to building the new one afterwards. In order to build the shock the right way, we gotta clean the cap.
Of course.
The OCD.
Can't have dirty parts going in.
So following this little diagram, starting from number 1, see the round ones are the new parts, the square ones are the old parts, and it's clearly indicated by this legend right here. Alright, so that's the first layer.
Number one.
Then we have the bump stop, which goes on top.
Number two.
We explained earlier why the bump stop is cut to provide us with more travel, but let's repeat ourselves so you'll learn the right way. Yes, it said in the instruction going from 10 to 12 millimeter. Please use safety gear and don't do this at home because Kyle here is professional.
Use gloves and goggles.
Yeah,
don't do as I do because I'm just stupid.
Metal flies around and I'm not responsible for any injuries caused to you by watching this video and replicating it. I just want to cover my buttocks here. So second part that we're using after the bump stop is the shock cover, and then
we have this piece.
The shock cover.
It's new.
This is something we're not reusing. This came in the kit, as well as the washer, washers and nuts. We are reusing the old bushing. All right. Not only not mechanically inclined, also illiterate.
Just like that.
All right.
Perfect.
Now
take this.
we're gonna take these little parts and go to the car. All right. The shock goes into the little slot up there, and we'll probably be installing this just so.
And then the hammer should finish it off.
Finish it off with the hammer. Went all the way in. Button up the nut, and then we're gonna take it to the top where we see the strut poking shock, and we're gonna slide the metal thing and then the bushing. These are the two parts that we are reusing from the old washer, lock washer.
Just like that. Definitely, these actually strip pretty easy. I know a lot of people that have stripped the threads using an impact to tighten it, so I would not recommend that.
The little thing is moving over there.
Nope. We're gonna have to use the impacts a little bit more. That's probably tight.
So this concludes the installation of the front shock. Have all the components on top, and we have the ugly dial. That is too big and it doesn't fit in there to stay in there. So what you do is, let's go on the other side because I can't really reach. This is not meant to fit in just right. What you do is, you put it on and go all the way to the minus, so your car is on the softest setting for the street, and then it got stuck. Kind of on there. Koni, why didn't you make a smaller knob, like a coilover thingy? Yeah, this will not stay there. I'll use it only to adjust, but just so you know, these are pretty stiff supposedly, so we'll go all the way to the minus and just leave it there. We'll pull this one out we'll leave this exposed. Alright, we're doing the back shock, so remove the clips. There you go. We're gonna expose the nuts and then grab the bottom one with a wrench, slide the socket on the top one and break it loose. There we go. Okay. Once the top one's broken loose, you can just do it by hand. Sadly, the bottom one is gonna take a lot of wrenching in this tight space. So here comes the time lapse. Just so you know, this is not able to be hand untied like the other one because it's being pushed by the shock upwards. Alright, remove the washer, remove the little rubber bushing, and the shock is free. Now we gotta untie it from the bottom. So for the bottom part, there is a 17mm bolt and a nut. You're gonna put the wrench on the bolt head, which is on one side, right here, right there, and then you're gonna use your wrench or impact or whatever on this bolt right there. So I don't know if I can set you down here. Yeah, you should be able to see this. There you go. There is a nut and a washer, and where is the and a bolt and another washer. So just put your washer on top of this, tighten up the bolt so you don't lose any hardware. Then the shaft should just pop out. Push it to contract it and then pull it out. There you go. Easy money. One blown shock. Cut my first bump stop using the method earlier. So I'm using the bottom part. Now I just gotta find a shock. Alright, so this is the back shock. Had a cap on top, right like this. Same jazz. We use the very bottom part to cover. Okay. Plastic goes on. Then goes our bump stop. There you go. Then, as Kyle said, this part goes out. We're not gonna be reusing this metal part, so that's gonna go away because the kit comes with this metal part. It's gonna go in here instead. Yeah, we'll deal with that later on. But first, we're gonna clean our boot because boots have to be clean. So now we gotta go use the drill, make this hole from 10 to 12. Let's see if the instructions are the exact same here. Yep, exact same instructions like in the front shocks. Okay, I got this back shock just built and I figured out a few things. One is this is not super complicated to do with guidance of somebody who actually knows what to do, and second, it's tough to install stuff and film in the same time, so bear with me. Okay, shock goes in. Compress. And go through the hole. Try and line it up as best as you can with the little holes right there. Okay, see, right there. So we gotta adjust it so the hole is visible, so we can put our little bolt and nut through. So let me do that now. Alright, once all this stuff is lined up, just put the bolt in. Once it's all lined up, just hit it. We will have to put the little bushing. So in order to compress this little bushing down and get some thread for the washer and the nut to fit, we're just gonna tighten up the nut so it pushes the little bushing down and get some thread above the washer so we can fit our little lock. Old bushing, new washer, new lock washer, and a nut, and we'll tighten this up. Don't leave your tools in the sun because they're gonna be hot. This one, for example, is hot now and I can't even touch it. That concludes it all. These are hot in there. I'm gonna put these on. That's not very complicated, but before that I'm gonna have Kyle check how I did the nuts and bolts on the bottom and the top ones, if they torque the right way. These are supposed to be 50 Newton meter or 37 pound-feet of torque, so we'll check those things and then we'll wrap it up. Alright, bottom covers are on, and this is, I don't know if you can see because it's kind of sunny and this is in the shade, but nice contrast of yellow and purple with the Vauxhall springs and the Koni shocks. Time to put the wheels on and do the little shaky test. Okay, the car is finally on the ground. I, for a first time in my life, used torque wrench to torque the wheel lug nuts of this car. Now we're gonna be doing a little bit of a shake test like we did in the beginning. Hopefully this time it doesn't bounce around, it just returns to its original height and stays there. If you guys like the video or want me to make a longer video on any of these cars, like this Audi Quattro or the wagon, the manual swapped M113 swap wagon, maybe the ML, there are a few other cars that are not here that you've seen in previous videos, just let me know in the comment section below. But let's hand the camera to our operator Kyle Jaworski and see if the car just bounces like before or you know, goes back to original position and it doesn't bounce anymore. See, this is what it's supposed to do, no go up and down and up and down. Now mind you, this is the softest setting and still it's really hard to push it down, so great success. And now don't forget to hit those thumbs up. We're gonna take the good old diesel through the canyons back home just to verify the good ride quality of these beautiful Koni shocks. I'm sure I'll be happy with it, but if not, you hear from it in future videos, and to do that you'll probably be better off being subscribed. So hit that subscribe button, you know, it doesn't hurt you, helps me, win-win. Have a great day and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.